Hey guys, what's up? V8 Mark here. I want to talk to you guys today about books and how they can save your life, kind of. So here I'll be talking about books like Charles Dickens' Great Expectations and Harry Potter, right? Because these things will save your life. No, they won't. Just messing around. To get down to the serious stuff, I'm talking about books that you can add to your Prepper's Handbook or the SHTF handbook that I was talking about. I'll leave a link in the top right of the video right there. And that video talks about what that is and how that works and all that stuff. And so the whole point of this video is stuff that you can add to that handbook. All right. So here I have, I think one of the most important things you can probably keep are the little manuals you get with your gun if you bought it new. You can even ask the manufacturer to send these out to you. And these are important because if you forget how to put your gun back together, or if you forget where a certain part went, you can look at a schematic and put it back together. So it might help you out, may or may not. Might as well have it, you know, especially if you have the room for it. Request those if you don't have them. Request the manufacturer to send you out one. Usually they send them out for free anyways. The next thing would be a hunter's handbook. This can help you out in finding animals and game birds in your area, and it gives you a little picture of them and how to, like here this one's a coyote, and here are the tracks, and it tells you what the tracks look like and things like that. So this can be really resourceful book in the future if you have to hunt down your own food. Now, some really important books here are, well, these two I find to be the most important, and I'll start here with the woodworking one. This one does everything that has to do with wood. Tells you how to basically start and finish a project from scrap wood, and how to I was going to say tool the wood, I guess shape the wood into whatever you want. And it goes over almost everything woodworking, even using the tools. And it does use hand tools, not just electrical tools. So that's good for you if you're going to be building projects, or if you have to build a project for whatever reason. So this will help quite a bit. The next one I find very important is, this is a ag mechanics book. This is more like this is more geared towards metalworking, but it's actually everything agricultural. So in here you have woodworking, metalworking as well. In the table of contents, let me quickly show you. I don't want to spend too much time. It's here. It talks about hand working, wood and metal, project planning, tool fitting, which includes sharpening and caring for your tools, gas heating, cutting, brazing, welding, plumbing, electrical, small engines, welding, concrete, masonry, and agricultural structures. A couple things I saw in here that might be interesting are a biological filter for water and hydroponic setup, and it tells you from start to finish how to do that. So that could be something that you need in the future to go back to reference to make a new one. Now the next thing here is a mechanics drawing book, and this one shows you how to draw plans for anything from housing to anything, sheds or whatever, and it tells you how to do that. There's a lot of geometry stuff in here that will really come into use later on. Here are two books from the Home Depot. They're home improvement books. This one's outdoor projects. These things can give you ideas or help you out in building something. It could be really crucial to you in the future. And the next one I think is really important. There's a lot of people doing this, and this one is gardening. And gardening is becoming really popular in the prepper community, or people who just want to become self-reliant, self-sufficient. So basic gardening stuff, general gardening things, organic gardening, things in gardening in general that you may need to refer back to later on. If you're working on a garden and you're like, I wonder how that went, or gee, I wonder, I don't know, something. You can go back to that book and use it as a reference to do what it is that you want. Now canning is something Well, before I get into canning, gardening is something you don't learn in just one time. It takes seasons and seasons and seasons. It takes lifetimes to learn, and generation upon generation, they pass down stuff. So it's not something you'll learn in one season. Next is canning. Everybody wants to do canning after they do their gardening. You got to preserve your food. This book right here in the front has the complete new and old ways of preserving foods in general. So that's going to be really important for you if you're doing gardening, or even now. I got a baking one. This one's kind of an old school baking recipes book, and this one I only have here is just so you know how to use the different ingredients and how to make like the different ratios and whatnot. And it has some old school baking recipes in here. Maybe not so important once you do a little bit of baking, you understand it. And this last one here is a home decorating book. And now this is not for decoration, this is actually more for sewing, because there's a really good sewing section in here, which might become really important later on if you got to make clothes out of old clothes, or if you got to repair clothes, things like that. Now, what you could do is, in all these books, you could pull out some information, throw it in your handbook, or you can just keep the books anyways and just refer to them later. And the whole point is that you can have this knowledge, and this knowledge can become useful later, whether you're going to trade work with someone or you can help someone out or whatever, So that's the whole point in having these books. And like I said, this information can go into your handbook so you can refer to it later. This makes you a jack of all trades in the future. And when time calls for you to step up and do something, you can score yourself some food or some gear that you may not have. All right, so I just want to propose that idea. This is like a little kickoff to putting something in your prepper's handbook, SHTF handbook. All right, guys, I will talk to you later.